right. First video. So, we're going to see how this goes. I have not edited anything, but we're going to see how it goes. I'm going to learn as we go. So, let's do this. So, I'm Gabby, and this is just opinions, stories, discussions, just things that I'm interested in or have a few opinions on, stuff like that. Gabby's 2 cents, I don't need your 2 cents. I don't know, I thought it was clever. Whatever. Anyway, since Halloween is coming up, I am going to talk about a few ghostly experiences that I personally have had. Now, I don't know if these instances were ghosts or anything like that. They were just kind of hard to explain and whatnot. So we'll get right down to it. Hopefully, I can edit this and make it look good. Now, I don't want to make this long. I babble a lot. So I just wanted to make it specifically about my own experiences because there's not a lot. I don't live in a haunted house or anything. I've always lived in this house. So, and I've only had a few kind of weird things happening. All right. So, experiences, ghostly experiences. I wrote down a little bit of what I wanted to talk about. Let's see. All right. So the first thing I ever really experienced that was a little strange. I do have maybe some logical explanations, but it was still really weird. So this was the first weird thing to ever happen, and I was already a teen or so. So now, anyway, first thing, my house or whatever, we have my cat Roscoe. You'll probably see him. I'll probably put a picture or something if I learn how to edit. And Roscoe, we have this is our basement apartment that I live in now. But we have also, the midsection and the upper bedrooms or whatever. So we have a door that goes upstairs to the bedrooms, and my parents didn't want my cat up there. So, but sometimes, cats, they'll just do whatever they want and he'll run up if the door is open, or you're going up and you open the door and he runs up. So one day he did that and I was like, fuck, I gotta go get him. So I went to go get him and he was hiding underneath my parents' bed. So I was over there looking at him, and to try to coax him out, I was tapping my fingers in a rhythm to kind of, get him to attack my hand or something like that. So it was a specific rhythm. Let me see. I don't know if I point the mic down. It was just like that. Right? And just my fingers just tapping in that sort of rhythm. So I was trying to get him to attack my hand. So I did that rhythm a couple of times, and then I stopped, and then I just heard it. Again, someone tapping exactly like me, exactly in that rhythm, just and I know maybe it was an echo and stuff, but it was it was loud. It was loud, and it just almost as if someone's mocking me, right? Because it was the same thing over again. So I kind of sit up, and I'm like, well, that was weird, because nothing like that has ever happened. And maybe it was an echo or something. If someone I could believe that. It just sounded really weird and very loud for an echo. I was by myself at the time. It was just me and my cat, and I was looking at my cat. My cat couldn't have done anything. So that was a little weird. And it didn't scare me. I'm such a huge scaredy cat. When I was a kid, ghosts and stuff like that terrified me, and it still kind of does, but not really. I kind of got over that. And in most of these experiences, even though they were really weird, I never got overly frightened. They also all happened during the day, so maybe that's it. Because when I was younger, once it was night, I was scared shitless of everything. So, but in these instances, I was never scared. It was just weird. So let's get on to the next one, which is actually a lot weirder than this first one. This first one, it was it could be an echo, right? So this one was a little stranger. Now, it has to do with a device, and I have it here, and I'll show you. This used to be a snow globe. It's all like fucked up now. I think one of my sisters broke it, so like, you know, obviously the glass is gone. But another thing about this snow globe, it's a mermaid, if you could tell. Camera's a little weird. All right, anyway. So, it's not just a snow globe, it is also like a music box, and it still works, I think. There it goes. Right? Now, anyway, this broke or whatever, but I really liked this, the music box and stuff, so I put it on my bureau in my room, and it just sat there. I didn't play with it. I didn't wind it up much. It's gonna take a while for it to stop, but whatever. So it just sat there collecting dust, right? It was just kind of like an ornament on my bureau. Now one day, I'm upstairs by myself. I was taking a shower, and after my shower, I noticed that a friend had called me or whatever, but, you know, I didn't pick up. So I walked into my bedroom, and my bureau was like across all the way away from me. Now, when I was trying to call my friend back, all of a sudden, I heard the little, like, tings. Like, you know how you were just hearing the little, like, music? I heard a few tings. I don't know how many. It was, like, 2 or 3 distinct little tings. And the sound was so, like, unique and different. I knew exactly where it was coming from. It was coming from this. Because, you know, like, a music box has that distinct ting. Like, it wasn't enough to make the melody, but it was, you know, loud enough. And I immediately look at it, and I'm like, what? So I hang up the phone. My friend didn't even pick up yet. So I was just like, what the fuck? And, like, even though I wasn't too scared, like, I immediately left my room and, like, went downstairs to tell my sister that, like, my fucking music box just went off by itself. And she was just like, oh, okay. And then I immediately went back up, and I was like, okay, how could this have happened? I never touched this thing. It hasn't made a sound. And it's just been collecting dust. And then just randomly, those little tings happened. So I'm like, I was near my bureau. So I'm like, I was knocking it around, like, to at least make, like, that like, one ting. But, like, you can even see, well, a little bit there. But, oh, it started, like, playing again. It is old, so, like, it could just be that it was old, but it never made a sound prior, and it hasn't, like, gone off since, as far as I know. But I was still trying or whatever. I even, like, picked it up and, like, let it drop, and then it made a ting, but obviously that's a lot of effort just to make it ting or whatever. So I found it so super weird, and like I said, it hadn't ever done that before, and it hasn't done that since. So, a little weird. It was one of the weirdest. Okay, next. This one was slightly more recent. I also have, it involves another object. Now, I'm in our basement apartment, and my nana used to live here. And then she passed away back in 2015. So, she used to live here, and then, I moved down here. Or whatever. So, like, this was, like, maybe not too long after she passed, and I was down here, and she used to have this wooden TV cabinet, like an old, big wooden TV cabinet, and she had, like, a bunch of religious statues and stuff on top, and they were still kind of there. So, I was down here with someone, but they were in the bathroom, and all of a sudden, I hear this wooden knock, or this wooden, just kind of, like something like that, like a quick knock. And I was like, oh, I thought maybe someone was at the door or whatever, but it was just like a quick wooden knock. And I noticed that this thing, one of the little statues or whatever, I noticed that this was toppled over like this on the wooden TV cabinet. And I don't know if it was like that the whole time or if it was indeed standing up. Now, when I saw that it felt like it was over or whatever, I put it right side up, and then, like, you know, it's a wooden block with a metal piece on it. It's not going to be knocked over so easily, like, by wind or anything like that, and there's not much wind. There's a lot of airflow, but there's not, like, wind in here. So, like, I put it right side up, and then I just knocked it over like that, right? And it sounded a lot like the knock that I heard. Now, was it this thing toppling over by itself? I don't know. It was just a weird thing. I didn't know where the knock came from, and this had been toppled over. So it was really weird. And actually, another weird thing about this is that I tried making this video before, but it got really rambly and very long, so I didn't do anything with it. However, when I was talking about this specific occurrence, as I was filming and as I was talking, I can see myself here on this screen below, like it's below the camera. And as I'm talking about this, I see something on the screen. And I'm like, is that an orb? I gotta check that out after I'm done filming. So after, cause like I usually just watch the video over again after I film. So I watched it over and I got to the part where I'm talking about this. And yeah, I see this little tiny orb kind of like, I'm not sure, like it came in on one side and kind of like bounced off my head and then like moved in front and went off screen the other way. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of interesting. Because like I said, I don't think my house is haunted or anything like that. And orbs are just, it could be dust, it could be bugs, it could be, you know, all that stuff. But we don't catch orbs in this house often. The only time we caught orbs in like pictures and stuff was when we went to Italy and like San Pietro. If you take pictures in San Pietro, there are a lot of orbs. Like every single picture had orbs. Now whether that's ghosts or just dust and old stuff, I usually take the logical explanation. It was just weird because I never filmed an orb or picture, like, you know, took a picture and there was an orb in there when it was in our house. So it was weird. Maybe I'll edit it and I can just put in that clip and show you the orb. It's very hard to see, but it's there. If someone were just to say like it's dust or whatever, like that's fine. It probably was, but I thought it was interesting because I was talking about a little weird ghostly experience when it happened. And it was about, you know, my nonna, and I did film it down here where she had lived until, you know, she passed. So it was weird. It was just kind of interesting. And, you know, I miss my nonna. So if it was like her validating the story, like, yeah, I did that or something like that, you know, it'd be cool or it would be cute. It would be a nice thought. But like, who knows? I'm not going to claim that I do know. I don't know what's out there. So, all right, moving on. Now, I'm trying to think what else has happened. I was down here once. This incident was just probably air. But I was sitting in this apartment by myself, and there was like a spoon over there drying, and the way I had it, it was like on the counter, kind of just, you know, drying or whatever, and then all of a sudden, it fell off the counter. I wasn't looking at it. I was like watching TV or something, but it fell off the counter, and it scared the living daylights out of me. Because it was just so sudden, and it had been there the whole day without toppling over. But there is a window there, and there is a lot of airflow, and it wasn't it wasn't laying sturdily or anything. So I'm just gonna put it up to the wind. It was just kind of like, since it had been there all day, maybe the wind just picked up later in the day and it knocked it off. But like, it was funny because like, it's probably the one thing that is truly not ghostly, but it was the only thing that scared the shit out of me because I was alone and it was night. Like I said, like most of these experiences happen like during the day, so I wasn't like scared, I guess. So that was a little something. Now, one more thing, so this video isn't too long and whatnot. One more thing was that my grandfather, he, you know, my nonna who passed away in 2015, this was her husband, so my grandfather. I never met him. He sadly passed away from like a massive heart attack 2 months before I was born. So he passed away. Now, when I was a kid, like, it seemed like I felt like I knew him in a way. Like, I remember as a kid, like, there was like this weird random, like, we were listening to like sad music, and then like me and my sisters and my cousin all got upset and sad, and we were saying that we missed grandpa, and most of us have never even met him. My older sister was you know, I think she was almost 1 at the time. Like, so but like she doesn't remember him or whatever. She was a baby. But like we were crying, we were saying like we miss grandpa. And then my aunt was saying how I used to see my grandfather as a kid. And I'm like, what? Because, like, I was always so scared of ghosts, especially as, like, a kid growing up. I was a huge scaredy cat and everything scared me and stuff. So, like, she was saying that I used to see him, and she was saying that there was this one time where I was, like, laughing or something, and they asked, Gabby, what are you laughing at? And I said, oh, Uncle Tony is here. But, because my Uncle Tony, looked a lot like my grandfather, or his dad, basically, right? So I said, Uncle Tony, but of course, my Uncle Tony wasn't there, so they figured I was seeing my grandfather. Now, I do have this weird, I thought it was a dream. The way I remember it seems like a dream, so it could be a dream, but like I have this dream, and I don't know if it was actually real and it's a memory or something, but I remember this thing where I was a kid, and my parents kind of like smoked cigarettes here and there. Like, you know, they'll smoke, but then they'll quit, and then they smoke, and then they quit. So at the time, I guess they were smoking and whatnot. And as a kid, I think we had people over. I'm not 100% sure what was happening, but I go up and there's like an ashtray. For whatever stupid fucking reason, you know, like, kids are fucking stupid, that subreddit or whatever. Well, for whatever reason, I stuck my finger in the ash, and then just, like, licked it, and put it in my mouth, and of course I'm like, fucking ash. I don't even know why I did this. Well, even if it was a dream, it's fucking stupid, why would you do this? But, when I did that, I remember my grandpa being there, my nono, and, like, he's, like, saying, basically, like, you know, like, he's like, oh, why'd you do this? This dirty, it's no good, it's dirty, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I remember. And that's kind of where the memory ends, is just him kind of scolding me, telling me, why'd you do this? It's dirty, it's gross, it's nasty. And I almost remember the taste of it, too. It was like, oh, it was so nasty. So now I don't know whether that's, like, a memory or a dream or, you know, because, like, hearing that, like, they thought I used to see him, like, it would be kind of cool if I did, and that was, like, an actual thing that happened, and I did see him, and, because, like, I don't know, that people say that, like, kids are more, you know, more likely to see ghosts or stuff like that. So I like to think that we used to see him, and then as we got older, we couldn't see him anymore, hence the whole part where we were just, like, crying and missing him or something like that. So, like, you know, something kind of interesting and a little weird. Could that whole situation be, you know, a dream? Yes, it could, you know. I'm not saying that all these experiences were indeed ghosts. I'm not saying that, you know, this proves there's an afterlife, stuff like that, because, you know, I don't know. I'm not going to claim to know what's going to happen after you die. I'm not going to claim to know, you know, if ghosts exist, if this exists, you know. It's just speculation. These are just personal experiences that were hard to explain, and whatnot. So, I'm going to end the video here. It's pretty long already. And maybe I'll do some editing and maybe get it posted up, and that would be really cool. So we'll see how it goes, but I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you found the stories somewhat entertaining, and I really want to hear your personal experiences, if you have any, if you've had any similar experiences. Like, did you see a dead loved one when you were younger? Did you have things move or whatever? Have you gotten orbs, stuff like that? And, you know, just open up the discussion. Do you believe there are ghosts? Yes and no. Why or why not? You know, like, just open up the conversation, get a conversation going. I love hearing about other experiences and whatnot. So, please like and subscribe. It seems so weird to ask that. Like and subscribe. But, you know, if you like, what you've seen and what you heard and stuff like that. Maybe we can have more fun. So if you like to see more, like and subscribe. And if you want me to talk about other things, just put topics in the comments. Let me know what you want me to talk about, and we'll be good to go. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in. I might do another ghostly kind of video. These, I didn't want to make it long, so this was just personal experiences. But I can talk about, like famous ghost videos or photos and stuff like that, because I watch too much of this crap. I do watch too much ghost stuff and cryptid stuff. So we could talk about that later. So again, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed yourself. I am Gabby. This is Gabby's 2 cents. I'll see you again. Add this on here. Now, when I was wondering where the knock came, I saw that this was flat like that on top of the TV stand. And I was like, I wasn't sure if it was already like that. I wasn't sure, like, I hadn't noticed